Merlin's booted foot. Merlin was unmoved by Arthur's outburst. The tall druid simply bent over and picked up the dented tankard, setting it on a nearby table. A flush of embarrassment flooded Arthur. He and Merlin had been through much during Arthur's rise to power, and the man knew all of him, every shining hope and shadowed fear. Still, it was no excuse. Arthur was king of Caerleon, the famed Roman city of the Legion of centuries past, and over-king of the Kingdom of Gwent. Kings did not lose control over every piece of bad news. "Finished?" Merlin asked, raising a dark eyebrow. "Are you?" Arthur asked, raising one of his own. Merlin barked a laugh. "Shall we move to the good news?" "There's good news." Arthur loosed a shaky breath. "Are you trying to kill me, druid? Tell me." Crouching on his cave's stone floor once again, Merlin pointed to another rune. "Fern. Alder, the warrior's shield." Touching another wooden rune, he said, Heather for healing and the other world. Interesting." Merlin indicated another room with a side glance Arthur's way. "Efath. It symbolizes conflict resolution. See how the Efath partially lies atop Or, the spindle tree." Arthur met the Merlin's inquisitive stare with a quick nod. "The solution to your problem will come in the form of something small, perhaps delicate, but that wields an unexpected mighty strength." Merlin left Arthur to ponder his revelations and crossed the room to a dark, smoky corner, where a set of shelves bore numerous items of questionable origin. Before the Lady of the Lake had declared Arthur the Pendragon and gifted him Excalibur, and thus sovereignty as king over Caerleon as well as all of Britain, he had been fascinated by Merlin's craft, and spent many a wondrous hour flipping through cracking tomes, smelling bundles of dried sage, and peering into jars of pickled crickets. These days he hardly had time to say hello to his old friend, let alone ponder the mysteries of the unknown. The druid returned with a flat silver bowl, placing the common grail dish on the table between them. He filled the bowl with a pitcher of water, and the droplets tinkled against the metal. "All magic can be undone. Every curse has a cure. It is just a matter of finding the right one." "If you can't find a solution, no one can," Arthur said, watching as Merlin positioned crystals in a rainbow of colours around the bowl. "How is Lancelot faring?" Merlin glided his hand over the bowl in sweeping passes. To Arthur's untrained eye, Merlin's movements seemed to match the tattoos carved onto the shaved sides of the druid's head. "He's as ornery as a stallion with a pebble in his shoe," Arthur said. "It doesn't help that Percival and Galahad refused to give him a moment's peace. Their jests have been merciless." "They find a potential war with the she-fae to be humorous?" Merlin asked, leaning over the bowl. "They're knights, and bored ones at that. So the prospect of war may not be humorous, but they and their fellow soldiers find the prospect of battle exciting. And more so, they're men. The fact that Lancelot's betrothed caught him in bed with not one but 2 kitchen maids." Arthur sighed. He loved Lancelot like a brother, but he had half a mind to let Morgana and her sisters unleash their wrath upon him. How could the man have been so stupid? "I blame myself," Merlin said. "I knew how dangerous it was to deal with the Fae. But when Morgana came to me wanting to be my apprentice, as her older sisters had once been, well, I let her flattery carry away my better judgment." "We share the blame, my friend. Despite seeing Lancelot flirt his way into the beds of half the women in my court, I thought that his feelings for Morgana were different. He knows better than most not to trifle with the tour de Danann. I should have trusted my instinct, forbade their union." "Morgana was desperately in love with that fool man, and has been since before her magic manifest."